Imagine you want to book a cross-country flight, but instead of opening an app and seeing all the prices, airlines, and schedules just perfectly laid out for you.
Right, like we're used to.
Exactly. Instead of that, you have to log into some random internet message board.
Oh, wow.
And you basically post a message saying, hey, I need to fly to Chicago next Tuesday. Anyone have a plane?
That sounds like a nightmare.
Right. And then you just sit there staring at the screen, waiting for strangers to direct message you with random offers.
Yeah, I mean, you would never trust that process for a flight. The friction alone would completely destroy the entire travel industry.
It really would. Yet that is exactly how the global performing arts industry operates right now.
Which is just wild to think about.
It is. So for you listening, today's deep dive is into a pitch deck for a platform called SGL. And their target is a market projected to be worth $54.88 billion US dollars globally by 2030.
Billion. With a B.
Yes, it is a massive financial juggernaut. But under the hood, the infrastructure is primarily powered by, like, chaotic Facebook groups and line networking chats. So, okay, let's unpack this. How is a $50 billion industry still functioning like a digital flea market?
Well, because digitizing a purely word-of-mouth supply chain is, it's notoriously difficult.
Right.
And for you listening, this deep dive really is a masterclass case study in how hidden inefficiencies, the kind that rely entirely on backroom relationships, they quietly drain billions of dollars in value from an economy every single year.
Oh, absolutely.
So SGL isn't just launching an app here. I mean, they are trying to build the foundational infrastructure for an industry that has just aggressively resisted modernization. It's basically remained stuck in the dark ages.
Yeah, and the numbers in this deck, they really paint a wild picture of just how vast that uncaptured territory is.
Oh, the scale is massive.
Right, because the market is growing incredibly fast. It's boasting a 20.4% compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, with the Asia-Pacific region leading the charge at a 24.1% share. But the craziest statistic to me is the fragmentation.
Yeah, the market share breakdown is fascinating.
Right, because the top 3 digital platforms in this space, they currently hold only a 13.9% combined market share.
Which is basically the classic definition of a blue ocean market. I mean, there is no monopoly.
Not even close.
Right. There isn't even a meaningful oligopoly. The vast majority of the transactions are just happening completely off the grid of modern technology.
In the shadows, basically.
Exactly, which leaves this enormous vacuum for a standardized solution.
And the manual chaos that is currently filling that vacuum is staggering. Like, the pitch deck describes these massive community groups. Think about 120,000 member Facebook group where an event coordinator just posts, like, urgent need a street performer for this Saturday's corporate event, DM me.
Screaming into the void.
Exactly. Or like 100,000 member line chat where someone asks, anyone know a magician? Year-end party next month, limited budget, thanks.
And what do they even get back from that?
Well, the person hiring gets maybe a single-digit number of responses, and the resumes arrive in entirely random formats.
Oh, I can only imagine.
It's a mess. Someone sends a beautifully formatted PDF. Another person sends a dead YouTube link.
Classic.
Right. Someone else sends a raw MP4 file that's way too big to download. And one guy just sends a blurry screenshot of his phone calendar.
That is, I mean, the time cost just to screen those candidates must be absolutely crippling for event planners.
Seriously?
It basically creates a structural bottleneck. You have zero efficiency. And because there's no standardization of data, the market becomes completely opaque.
And bad things happen in opaque markets.
Exactly. When things are opaque, the darker side of the industry really thrives. You get layers upon layers of middlemen. Like a single booking might pass through 3 different brokers before it even reaches the performer. And each middleman is skimming a margin, which severely dilutes the performer's actual take-home pay.
Wow, just chipping away at it?
Yep. And then you add to that the rampant fake accounts, falsified credentials, outright scams.
Oh, the scams.
And the massive, ever-present risk of a performer just pulling a no-show on the day of the event.
Which is an event planner's worst nightmare.
But I look at every other sector of the gig economy, though, and they figured this out a decade ago.
That's true.
I mean, drivers, food delivery, freelance graphic designers, dog walkers, they have all been systematically revolutionized by platform technology.
Oh, absolutely.
So why is this specific industry performing arts, resisted digitization for so long while literally everything else moved online?
Well, what's fascinating here is the core trust problem.
The trust problem.
Yeah. The performing arts industry relies on highly subjective intermediaries, mostly because assessing talent is entirely different from assessing utility.
Oh, that makes sense. Right. Like evaluating whether a rideshare driver can successfully get you from point A to point B, that is a binary, objective metric. Did you arrive alive, yes or no?
Right, very easy to rate out of 5 stars.
Exactly. But evaluating whether a magician or like a jazz trio is going to perfectly capture the vibe of a corporate retreat, that is deeply subjective.
Totally.
And because of that subjectivity, the industry leaned entirely on human gatekeepers, agents and producers who traded on their personal reputation.
Ah, I see.
Over decades, that reliance on relationship-based middlemen basically created an exploitative and fundamentally untrusting market. SGL recognized that you can't just build a cleaner message board to fix this.
You have to actually solve the underlying trust problem.
Exactly.
Which is where SGL's platform-first model comes in. They're taking a process that traditionally took, days of back-and-forth emails, and they're compressing it into a 3-step, 3-second process.
3 seconds to a legally binding contract.
It's incredible. So step 1 is the one-tap search. You basically filter the database by category, gender, height, language, budget, and specific date.
Just narrowing it down instantly.
Yeah. Step 2 is the quick browse. So instead of navigating that chaos of PDFs and dead YouTube links we talked about, you are looking at strictly standardized profiles.
Which is so much better.
Night and day. Every profile requires real name verification, clear photos, verified past experience, and most importantly, a live calendar showing real-time availability.
That calendar feature alone is a game changer.
Oh, totally. And then step 3 is instant contact. You just message them, send the job invitation, and sign the contract directly in the app.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Plus, they integrate a genuine rating system based on post-job reviews. So performers can actually build a permanent reputation asset that isn't tied to some specific agent's private Rolodex.
And that rating system is really the critical mechanism that solves the trust problem we just talked about.
Right.
It replaces the highly subjective, biased opinion of a single middleman with the aggregated, verified data of dozens of previous clients. I mean, it democratizes the vetting process entirely.
Well, here's where it gets really interesting, the financial transaction itself.
Oh, right.
Because SGL uses a third-party escrow system to secure the payments.
Which is huge.
It really is. The client pays upfront into the escrow account, and those funds are completely locked until the performance is successfully completed.
So nobody runs off with the money.
Exactly. It completely kills the no-show risk for both parties. I mean, it's like having a digital bouncer holding the money at the door.
I love that analogy.
Thanks. Yeah, it forces the client to prove they actually have the budget, and it forces the performer to show up and act professionally if they actually want to get paid.
Right, because by locking the capital in escrow, SGL just removes all the anxiety from the transaction.
Yes, all of it.
But if we look at the underlying mechanics, the true genius isn't just the search functionality or, the escrow bouncer.
What is it then?
It is the forced standardization of the talent database.
Yeah.
Think about it. By funneling everyone into a unified format with real name verification and identical profile layouts, SGL transforms an opaque, messy, relationship-driven market into a transparent, searchable ecosystem.
That's a great point.
They are essentially taking a deeply qualitative industry and forcing it into a strict quantitative framework.
But, building a great app and standardizing a database, that's really only half the battle.
Oh, for sure. Execution is everything.
Right, because startups die every single day with flawless code just because they can't acquire users efficiently.
Yep.
But SGL's go-to-market strategy is what completely caught my attention because they already have over 1,500 performers on their waitlist through what they call an affiliate agent co-creation model.
Okay, wait, break that down.
So SGL is actually operating with a negative customer acquisition cost, or SACit.
Negative CAC. That's almost unheard of.
I know. They aren't spending millions on marketing to acquire these performers. The traditional agents are actually paying to join the platform.
Which is just a brilliant manipulation of market psychology and incentives.
But wait, if I'm a traditional agent, right, and I'm making a 50% cut in the shadows, why would I voluntarily move my proprietary talent onto a transparent app that exposes my roster to my competitors.
It seems counterintuitive, right?
Totally. The math just doesn't seem to add up for the gatekeepers. Aren't they basically signing their own death warrants by handing their talent over to SGL?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, you'll see exactly why this pivot works.
Okay, I'm listening.
Historically, tech disruptors try to annihilate the existing middlemen. Uber went to war with taxi medallions.
Right. Airbnb bypassed hotel chains.
Exactly. SGL is doing the exact opposite. They are co-opting the existing power structure.
Interesting.
Think about the daily life of a traditional talent agent. It is just a grueling administrative nightmare.
Oh, I bet.
They spend all their days fielding frantic emails, chasing down delinquent payments, updating messy Excel spreadsheets, and dealing with last-minute cancellations.
Sounds exhausting.
It is. So SGL approaches them and says, hey, we will handle all of your operational logistics, the contracts, the scheduling, the payment collection. We automate all of it.
Oh, wow. It's like Shopify.
Yes.
Like Shopify didn't try to destroy independent retail stores. They gave retail store owners the back-end software to digitize and scale. So SGL is offering talent agents the exact same infrastructure.
Spot on. SGL gives these agents exclusive invite codes that permanently tie their performers to them on the platform's backend.
So they never lose their talent.
Right. The agent simply brings their talent onto the app, and in return, they earn a passive, lifetime revenue share.
That's genius.
They get a commission on every single deal their performers book through the ecosystem forever, with zero administrative friction.
Wow.
The agent is willingly trading absolute control and high margins for massive scale and entirely passive income.
Well, let's run through the multiplier math in the deck because the scale is incredible when you look at it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so SGL estimates one affiliate agent averages about 600 orders a year.
Which is a solid volume.
Yeah. And at an average order value of 6,000 new Taiwan dollars, that is 3.6 million in gross merchandise volume, or GMV, per affiliate per year.
Okay.
With just 300 affiliates onboarded, SGL projects 1.08 billion new Taiwan dollars in annual GMV.
Billion.
Why? And taking their 20% platform cut, that yields 216 million in annual revenue.
That scales so beautifully.
It really does. The lifetime value, or LTV, of an affiliate is over 216,000, giving them an LTV to CAC ratio of greater than 5.
Which is an investor's dream.
Exactly. By turning their biggest potential enemies into their primary growth engines, they basically lock in their user base for free.
And once that user base is locked into the ecosystem, the platform's utility expands exponentially. I mean, they aren't stopping at just a simple matchmaking service.
Right, because the pitch deck outlines this massive 3-phase roadmap for extracting long-term value.
Tell me about phase 1.
So phase 1 is the core foundation we just covered, right? Job matching, performer subscription fees, transaction fees, and paid in-app credits for premium visibility.
Okay, standard platform stuff.
Exactly. But phase 2 pushes into diversifying the performer's actual income streams. So SGL plans to offer certification exams, training programs, space and equipment rentals, and even a sponsored task system where brands can offer direct deals to performers right within the app.
So they're essentially building vertical integration for the entire creative class.
Exactly. But phase 3 is where the ambition really scales up.
Okay, what's phase 3?
Phase 3 gets into diversified financial services. SGL wants to handle cross-border payments. They want to offer specialized performer insurance, provide financing, and even roll out installment payment plans for the clients who are actually booking the talent.
Wow, they want to be a bank, basically.
Pretty much. And they aren't just keeping this in the cloud either. They are bridging the digital ecosystem directly to the physical world with what they call offline to online tech.
Okay, how does that work?
They highlight this physical NFC ring.
Yeah.
It's a literal social tech gadget that the performer wears on their hand.
Ah, so bridging the transition from, like, the street to the corporate booking.
Exactly. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, interacting with a performer in the real world?
Yeah, paint the picture for me.
Imagine you are walking downtown and you see an incredible acoustic guitarist. Normally, you'd drop $1 in their guitar case and walk away. That's the end of the transaction.
Right, you never see them again.
But now the performer taps your phone with their NFC ring.
Oh, that's slick.
Instantly, their verified SGL profile pops up on your screen. You see their high-definition videos, their availability calendar, their verified reviews, and you can literally book them for your company's holiday party right there on the sidewalk.
That is amazing.
It turns a fleeting physical encounter into a permanent digital connection. It is basically a digital business card with a built-in escrow cash register.
It completely removes all the friction from serendipitous discovery.
Yes.
And, coupled with their strategy for unstaffed studios, where they partner with talent studios to monetize their off-peak hours as passive income SGL, is really establishing physical hubs for this digital community.
So smart.
It is. What you were describing across these three phases transforms SGL from a simple SaaS booking utility into a full-blown super platform and a self-sustaining mini economy.
Right.
They aren't just facilitating a one-off transaction. They are actively attempting to become the financial, operational, and physical infrastructure for an entire global industry.
Well, let's ground these massive ambitions in reality for a second.
Good idea. Let's look at the numbers.
Yeah, let's look at the economic impact they're actually projecting and where this team stands right now, today, in July 2026. So the economic impact is profound for the individual gig worker because SGL only takes a 15 to 20% platform cut compared to the staggering 40 to 60% that traditional shadow agents were siphoning off. Performers actually see a 33 to 60% increase in their net income.
I mean, that kind of margin improvement is genuinely life-changing for a creative freelancer.
Absolutely. And at a macro level, SGL calculates they are removing roughly 36 billion new Taiwan dollars a year in hidden labor waste from Taiwan's market alone.
That's a huge efficiency gain.
It is. And at maturity, they promise to inject 3 to 8 billion in new GDP directly into the supply chain.
And what stands out in the financials is really how lean the operation is relative to that massive total addressable market, or TAM.
Yeah, they run incredibly lean. The estimated 2-year cost to pull this off is just 16.3 million new Taiwan dollars, and that's heavily weighted towards system development and marketing.
Right, standard tech startup costs.
Yes, so system development is 5.5 million, marketing is 4.5 million, ops is 3.6, and admin is 2.7.
Okay, and what's the revenue looking like against that?
Against that cost, they estimate a 2-year revenue of 40.8 million new Taiwan dollars, driven primarily by recurring user subscriptions, which brings in about 18 million, and transaction fees at 12 million.
So they are highly profitable very early on.
Exactly. And looking at the team executing this, the pitch deck highlights founders who aren't just, a bunch of random tech developers looking for a market to disrupt.
Right, they actually know the industry.
Yes. The CEO, Chen Shensin, the UI UX director, Chan Xiuling, the ops director, Xiao Yushuan, and the CTO, Chao Mingshun. These are industry veterans who have clearly lived the administrative nightmare they are trying to solve.
Which is so crucial. Sweat equity in the actual pain points of the industry always translates to much better product market fit.
Without a doubt. You can see their lived experience and how meticulously the platform is designed to eliminate the specific bottlenecks that plague event coordinators.
And their timeline has been aggressive to match it, right?
Very aggressive.
Yeah.
They built the prototype and launched the waitlist program back in 2024. They officially rolled out the app in 2025.
Okay.
And sitting here today in 2026, they are currently executing their scale phase. So they are actively expanding across the Asia-Pacific region, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia.
Oh, so really branching out.
Yep. They're establishing overseas offices and even preparing to launch a global franchising model aimed at North America and Europe.
That's a massive leap.
It is. Their total addressable market is $1.2 trillion globally, with a specific serviceable obtainable market, or SOM, goal of capturing 1% of the Asian market by year 3, which represents about $114 million. But yeah, I have to challenge this global expansion plan.
I was hoping you'd bring this up.
I mean, scaling across APAC is one thing, but franchising into North America or Europe? You are walking straight into the teeth of heavily entrenched entertainment unions like SAG-AFTRA or Actors Equity.
It's a completely different ballgame.
Right. Western markets have incredibly strict, deeply complex labor regulations for gig workers and performers. How does a platform built around the cultural nuances of Taiwan's gig economy just seamlessly drop into London or Los Angeles?
Well, this raises an important question, and honestly, it is undoubtedly the most severe friction point on their roadmap.
It has to be.
You cannot simply ignore established labor unions. But SGL's strategy likely mirrors the Uber playbook here.
How so?
When Uber expanded globally, they didn't just launch a tech product. They engaged in city-by-city, state-by-state regulatory warfare.
That's true. They really fought for it.
Right. However, SGL has a unique Trojan horse here.
What's that?
Their ultimate stated vision isn't just to be a booking app. They want to build the world's first performer credit system.
A credit system, like a credit score for talent.
Exactly.
Hmm.
They aren't trying to replace the unions. They're trying to provide a universal, verified credential that even union productions could rely on.
Oh, that's clever.
Because the technology itself, the escrow, the standardized profiles, the live calendars, that is easy to scale. I mean, a financial transaction is a financial transaction anywhere in the world.
Right, the plumbing works globally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But standardizing human creativity, actually capturing a performer's reliability, charisma, and professionalism on a single, universally accepted global credit score.
Yeah, that sounds nearly impossible.
That is where the cultural friction lies. If they push into Western markets this year, their ultimate test won't just be navigating local union bylaws or gig worker classifications.
What will it be?
The real test is proving that their digital trust system, basically, the algorithm that defines what makes a performance good or reliable, actually translates across completely different cultural expectations of art and entertainment.
Yeah, because a 5-star performance in Tokyo might look very different from a 5-star performance in New York. Well, if they can solve that cultural translation and navigate the labor laws, the reward is an untapped $50 billion market.
A huge prize.
So let's summarize the journey of this deep dive. We started by looking at a massive, chaotic, completely opaque industry, just running on fragmented Facebook posts and stressful line group chats.
Right, the dark ages.
And we explored how SGL is attempting to overhaul that chaos. They are doing it with a really clever mix of standardized technology, a secure escrow bouncer to eliminate no-shows, and a completely counterintuitive affiliate model that essentially pays the old guard gatekeepers to seamlessly bring their own talent into the digital age.
It's a masterful strategy.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up this analysis, I actually want to leave you with one final thought to mull over.
Oh, what's that?
So SGL is actively trying to build a global standardized credit system for human performance.
Right.
But if a deeply human, highly subjective, and intensely emotional art form like street performing, live music, or stage magic, if that can be effectively quantified, rated, and financialized onto a global credit scale,
Yeah.
what other subjective relationship-based industry is next?
Oh, wow.
Right? Could we soon see a perfectly standardized platform, complete with an escrow system and a unified rating score for dating?
Oh my gosh. That is wild.
Or perhaps for local politics. I mean, once we figure out how to mathematically score human trust, charisma, and reliability, the applications for that kind of infrastructure go far, far beyond just the stage.
That is a slightly terrifying but absolutely fascinating thought to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration today. Keep questioning the systems and the platforms around you, and as always, stay curious.